Hi, this is Scott Lewis, Head of Content for iconfinder.com. In this week's blog post, we're reviewing the VectorScribe plugin by Astute Graphics for Adobe Illustrator. By far the most popular feature in VectorScribe is the Smart Remove Point brush. And I'm going to demonstrate very quickly what this is by selecting my avatar of Mick Jagger here. And you can see that I've got a lot of excess points in my paths here. And excess points like this not only make the paths hard to work with, but they also increase the file size. And VectorScribe gives me a couple of ways to delete the excess points. First, I can select a path here like this highlight on Mick's hair, and I can direct select a couple of these points, and then I can click this little X button in the PathScribe palette here to delete those. Also, if I want a much quicker approach, I can go down to my toolbox over here and select the Smart Remove Brush tool, which works kind of like an eraser, and then I can just move along the edges of the path here and delete the points that I want to delete. And you'll notice that some of them are not removing, and so I can go back in and simplify this even more by simply selecting those points and then clicking on the X tool to further simplify my path. Now, another interesting feature is if you have the Vector First Aid plugin installed, you also have a third way to remove points, which is to automate removing all of the extra points in a single document. So another feature that I really like, I'm going to need to go over to my little filigree curvy pattern here. And this tool that I'm going to show you now is called Extend Path. And when you're drawing curves like this, if you stop too soon or if you've cut your path off too early, you might think that you need to go back in with the pen tool or to drag these points around, but there's actually an easier way to do this. And I'm going to select the Extend Path tool from the toolbox, and then if I hover over one of the endpoints here, I can simply click on that point and start dragging. And you'll notice that I get this grayed out preview of where the path is going to go. And if I also hold down, keep the mouse key held down, and then click the letter E, press the letter E, I can change the path to get different options here. So I have a Bezier extension, I have a constant radius extension, which is a circle, and then I get a straight extension or I get a spiral extension. So I can just drag along any one of these paths and complete that path with a nice smooth arc to it. And then another really cool feature of VectorScribe is the ability to select multiple handles. And I'm going to zoom in on this kind of leaf-shaped object here on my screen. And I'm going to select this, and I'm going to click on this button here to display all of the handles. And then I'm going to show you with using the PathScribe tool that I can come in and I can select these four handles on the end at the same time, and then I can manipulate these perfectly symmetrically and in unison, so I can mirror the shape of the curves on either end of that. So if I want to make this more of a kind of an onion shape, or if I want to make it more of an ellipse shape, then I can do that very easily by manipulating all four paths at the same time. So another great time saver is in VectorScribe is the ability to copy handles and paste them to another point. So let's say that with the same shape again, that I've manipulated this exactly the way I want it, and I don't want to have to copy and paste the whole shape and move it around and reposition it. So I certainly don't want to do that same action on every one of the shapes in my file. So what I can do is actually just select these 2 points at the end here, go to the PathScribe palette and select Copy Handles. And then I can go down to my shape here at the bottom and select the 2 points at the top, select the 2 handles at the top there, and then I can go back to PathScribe and I can select Paste Handles, and that'll duplicate the exact length of the handles and position and everything to the other shape. And then I can do the same thing again with the bottom handles here, just copy those, go down to my shape at the bottom of the screen here, select those bottom handles, and then go to Paste Handles, and voila, I've duplicated the exact shape of the curves and the handles and so forth onto a new shape. And now the last feature I want to show you in VectorScribe is the ability to move points around on a path without changing the shape of the path, and to add points at the tangent. And the benefit of having the points at the tangent is it makes it a lot easier to more precisely manipulate your curves and to do so symmetrically. So as you can see with this shape here, I've got these points that are on the outside, like 45-degree region of the curve. And let's say that I want to get a point right in the very center of the top there. So there's two ways I can do this. I can select this point, and I can go to my PathScribe menu and then go to Move Point to Tangencies and select that, and it's actually going to rotate my points so that they are at the, well, what would be on the compass, the north, south, east, west. And then if I want to undo that, I can actually go back to the, another option is to go back to the menu, the PathScribe menu, and I can actually add points at the tangencies. So it's going to add points at the tangencies, but leave these other 2 points intact. Personally, I'd probably do the move point with that. So another thing you can do with PathScribe is I can go to my toolbox here and I can select the Reposition Point tool, and now I can just click on any one of these points and drag them wherever I want. And you'll notice that you get these little pink dots that show you where the tangents are. So if I drag this point to the 45-degree angle, I'm going to get this 45-degree tangent, and then down around the circle and so forth and so on. So it's another powerful feature in VectorScribe that allows you to move points around to the ideal location so you can better control the curves without changing the shape of the path, or without having to manually click to try to perfectly position the point. So this has been an overview of some of my favorite features in VectorScribe. If you like this video, please follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/iconfinder, or check out our blog at blog.iconfinder.com. And as always, you can search our inventory of over 2 million icons at iconfinder.com.